What's up, everybody? It's Jordan, and welcome to the Sports Dude Hines Show. In this video, I'm continuing my series of doing a summer mock draft for each NFL team post-free agency. A couple days ago, I got done doing one with the Houston Texans because their original pick was the third pick overall. So today's mock draft is the fourth pick overall, and that belongs to the Atlanta Falcons. So we'll go ahead and get started with this Atlanta Falcons post-free agency summer mock draft. In the first round, I have them selecting Trey Lance, a quarterback of North Dakota State. There's a possibility, it's still talking, Trey Lance could possibly go number 3 to the San Francisco 49ers. But there's also been talks about potentially Matt Jones or Justin Fields going there to number 3 as well. Out of those 3 quarterbacks, I personally like Trey Lance the most. I think he has the most upside and the most potential. But he just reminds me so much of kind of the Deshaun Watson in a way. He's not really big, but he's muscular. He's great at throwing a deep ball. He's really, really athletic. He reminds me so much of Watson when you actually compare the two. But let's say if Trey Lance were to be drafted number 3 to the San Francisco 49ers, if I'm the Atlanta Falcons, you take Justin Fields. If you took a quarterback on number 4, you do not take Matt Jones. As long as you Trey Lance or Justin Fields at number 4 for the Atlanta Falcons, you've pretty much that's the A+ pick. Anybody aside from that, I don't think that's a great pick. I really, really like Kyle Pitts. I think he's one of the top 3 player in this draft. But I know Atlanta Falcons could use tight end. But having a good tight end don't mean anything unless you have a good quarterback. Look at the Raiders. I mean, Darren Waller's a really nice tight end, but Derek Carr's been consistent throughout the years. So I think Trey Lance would be a great pick, number 4. But if he's picked, I think Justin Fields would be a nice pick as well. And, the Atlanta Falcons, they've been outspoken about how they're going to draft. They're going to draft a quarterback replacement and a wide receiver replacement for Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. Julio Jones was drafted in 2011. And, he's still a top 10 receiver. He's still a first-ballot Hall of Famer. You can make a case that even Matt Ryan's a potential Hall of Famer as well. The Atlanta Falcons, I thought they were going to be a lot better this past season, but they obviously weren't. They're really, really bad, surprisingly. And I mentioned that wide receiver. I think Terrence Marshall Jr. from LSU would be a fantastic pick here in round 2. Honestly, I'm not sure if he's going to be available. Something to keep in mind, all these mock drafts do for each team, they're from ProFootballNetwork.com. They're from their mock draft simulator, so I cannot determine what players, are picked where, as some fall, as some reaches, or anything like that. And this could be one of the situations where, a guy falls. Terrence Marshall, he had a sensational pro day. I believe he ran under a 4.4. I would not be surprised at all if he's drafted in the first round. I would be kind of surprised if he's not drafted in the first round. I think the Green Bay Packers would be a perfect spot for Terrence Marshall. But if Terrence Marshall is available in the second round, you may not desperately need a wide receiver that bad if you're the Atlanta Falcons, but he's a player that you just can't pass up if he's there in the second round. As we go to round 3, I have them taking Tyson Campbell, the cornerback from Georgia University. And I've seen a couple of mock drafts even have the Atlanta Falcons taking corner at number 4. I really don't understand it at all, because why not just trade back, with the Patriots? There was talks about them, potentially the Patriots and the Atlanta Falcons could be swapping picks. But I think number 4 would be incredibly too early for a corner. But in round 3, you're getting Tyson Campbell, who's a steal at this point, 68th overall. I don't know if he should be here. But that's a phenomenal pick for the Atlanta Falcons. You're getting a young, nice corner who's going to be really, really well in your division. You're playing against some, good quarterbacks who tend to throw the ball a lot, like Jameis Winston and Tom Brady. And, Sam Darnold, he'll probably be passing it a lot, with Joe Brady, his offense. So you're going to need some nice corners in Atlanta. And that's a really nice start to get Tyson Campbell in the third round from Georgia. In the fourth round, I have them taking Tommy Tremble, the tight end from Notre Dame. Like I said, there's some people who have Kyle Pitts going to the Atlanta Falcons. I don't really see that. I think you need to get your quarterback. Go ahead and get it. Number 4, whether it's Trey Lance or Justin Fields, and you can maybe get a tight end in a later round, like Tommy Tremble or Quentin Morris or Bowling Green, Trevin Jordan from Miami. He may drop a tad bit. But any of those guys, to me, I think would be really nice. I believe they have Hayden Hurst, but his contract is coming up to an end. And I think Tommy Tremble will be a really nice fit with the Atlanta Falcons. especially in the 4th round. Let's go to round 5. They signed Todd Gurley this past season for a 1-year deal, and that obviously that did not with Atlanta Falcons at all. Todd Gurley, I believe he averaged less than 50 rushing yards a game. From the 5th round, I had them getting Oklahoma State running back Chuba Hubbard. I think he can be their, I know it sounds crazy, their potential starter, because it doesn't matter where you get running backs. I mean, they can be really good. I mean, for instance, Austin Eckler, the starting running back for the Chargers, I believe he was an undrafted free agent. He's Aaron Jones. He was from UTEP, and he's a top 10 running back. There's wherever you get running backs. I mean, running backs is the easiest position to replace. So if I'm the Atlanta Falcons, I'm not wasting a high pick on a running back, and I think Chuba Hubbard could be really nice with Atlanta. So as we go, I said in the 5th round, I had them taking Tariq Thompson, the safety from San Diego State. They lost Ricardo Allen on free agency to the Cincinnati Bengals. So I think Tariq Thompson, you can add a little bit more secondary depth. You need a safety to replace Ricardo Allen. I think that's a really nice pick there in the 5th round. I actually have another 5th round pick. They actually have 3 5th round picks. I have them taking edge rusher from Duke, Chris Rumph. He is extremely underrated. I've seen, some mock drafts have him going in the 4th, but I've also seen some have him going undrafted. It does not make any sense to me. But you could use some more edge help. You lost McKinley this past season. He did not really work out when they drafted him in the 1st round. So I really think Chris Rumph would be a phenomenal pick here for the Atlanta Falcons in the 5th. Speaking of phenomenal picks and steals in the draft, this is my favorite pick. Probably my favorite pick of this draft. I think he's going to be one of the biggest steals of the draft, especially the wide receiver position. In the 6th round, I have them taking Trevon Grimes, the wide receiver from Florida. I know I already had them, taking a wide receiver in Terrence Marshall, and you would have Terrence Marshall, Trevon Grimes, Ridley, and Julio, but you cannot pass up a Trevon Grimes here. He's extremely underrated. He got overlooked so much when he was in Florida's offense, while he was also playing on the offensive side of the ball with Kadarius Toney and Kyle Pitts. He was overlooked by those guys, but Trevon Grimes to me would be a phenomenal pick. It may not be a pick where you need that, but it's just one of those type of situations where they're not players too good to pass up, and I think that's the exact situation right here for the Atlanta Falcons in the 6th round. They actually have 2 6th round picks that do not have a 7th round pick. So with their last pick on the draft, I have them taking Elijah Griffin, the corner from USC. Like I said, they could use some corner help. Corner is probably their worst spot on defense. So adding Elijah Griffin from USC, I think that would be a really nice depth pick. And he's somebody drafted in the 6th round. Not all 6th round picks end up making the team. But I could definitely see maybe Elijah Griffin making the team for the Atlanta Falcons, being pretty decent for the Atlanta Falcons secondary. So it was kind of the Atlanta Falcons post-free agency summer round mock draft. Go over these picks here one more time. In the 1st, North Dakota State quarterback Trey Lance. In the 2nd round, LSU wide receiver Terrence Marshall Jr. In the 3rd round, Georgia cornerback Tyson Campbell. In the 4th, Notre Dame tight end Tommy Tremble. In the 5th round, Oklahoma State running back Chuba Hubbard. Also in the 5th round, Tariq Thompson, the safety from San Diego State University. With another 5th round pick, they take Duke edge rusher Chris Rumph. With their 6th round pick, they take Trevon Grimes, the wide receiver from Florida University. And with another 6th round pick, the last pick they have in the draft, Elijah Griffin, the cornerback from USC. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video and subscribe to the channel, I'd really, really appreciate it. And I will see you next time on the Sports 200 Show.